So today is only about separation anxiety. Everybody seems to be talking about canine separation anxiety. But what is that? You know, it's anxiety. It's a legitimate panic attack that your dog has. It's absolute 100% stress that your dog feels. So don't underestimate it. Don't sort of dismiss it that this is something that's going to go away, because this is anxiety that gets triggered when there are no humans around the dog. Now, this separation anxiety is very different from something that we call isolation distress. Isolation distress is where the dog just hates being alone. So there's a distinction between the two. There's anxiety that also gets triggered when you move into a new house. So new sights, new smells, new sounds. Your dog hasn't got acclimatized yet, and you suddenly leave your dog in a new place for 8 hours on end. It could trigger this anxiety attack. If you get a new family member, say a new baby, or sometimes you even rescue a dog, or you add another addition to your pack in through animals, that could also trigger anxiety. The other thing is a loss of a family member. A lot of times people say the dog mourns and grieves and all of that when someone is gone. And to a large extent, that's really separation anxiety. The dog really doesn't know how to calm itself down, how to stay independently when that human is missing. All right. And lastly, it's a change in schedule. It's important to understand what the signs and symptoms are. Okay, that is, your dog could also show anxiety through barking and howling, excessive barking and howling. Another symptom is excessive drooling. Your dogs could start pacing up and down the front door or the bedroom door, wherever it is that you have left them, and they don't stop. It's like they can't cease to take a break until you return. Then there's, of course, the most common one, lot of destruction around the house. You come back home and nothing seems the way it was when you left. So chewed up pillows and sofas and couches and beds and rugs and mats and all of those things. And the last thing is they do urinate. Sometimes they do defecate around the house. They do pee and poop around and causes, it's stress. They don't have bladder control anymore. Bowel movements are very irregular and they might just go. So all of these will be signs and symptoms that your dog is suffering from anxiety. However, there is a disclaimer to this. What it is not is if your dog is just barking, there are alert vocalizations that we count. So what it means is somebody walked by your front door. Now, there might be times when there's a lot of excitement. They hear the keys jingle in the door. They smell you near the front door. Suddenly they hear the sounds of your feet and they get all excited. Yay, my human's home. And sometimes out of that excitement, especially little ones, puppers, might just pee out of excitement. Youthful destruction. Now we have puppies, you've not exercised them, or you have a teenager at home who hasn't gotten their walks or no mental stimulation, and you let them be. They're like, I'm bored, man. Oh, good, a chappal, great, I'll go for it. Boredom. Now, what I mean by that is a dog might start, jumping up on the ledge and barking, just saying, hey, I'm here, guys, how are you? And then there's incomplete potty training. What I mean by that is you haven't housebroken your dog. Let's think about how we start. And when we start, we have to leave a few myths behind in our heads. Okay. If you think separation anxiety can be resolved by bringing another dog into the house, 9 out of 10 times, the answer is no. It won't be resolved. In fact, it can also aggravate matters because your dog suddenly has somebody else in his space that's causing him even more stress. Okay, dogs will outgrow this. He's only a puppy. In a year's time, everything will be fine. He'll know how to be by himself. No, separation anxiety is not something that dogs will outgrow. All right. So if you think waiting and then expecting your dog to get better is going to happen, it's not going to. This may only, separation anxiety I've seen has only gotten worse over time when it's not corrected. All right. My dogs will stop loving me if I'm gone. Oh, no. They won't stop loving you. In fact, dogs, unlike humans, don't constantly need attention and cuddling and affection. Now, crate training. I know one of you does crate train your dog, but generally saying, I'll shove my dog into a crate. They're den animals anyway. So they like staying in a den. They won't get their access into my, very expensive sofas and bedspreads and all of that. They'll just stay in a crate. Unfortunately, yes, they are den animals, but it doesn't mean they will love to go into a crate. I will give my dog food. Everything will be sorted. I'll give them a nice juicy bone and leave the house. Great. It's a very quick fix. What's your dog going to do once they've done eating the bone? You think they're going to sit around and say, great, now my human taught me that I have to just eat and now I won't do anything. No, they've forgotten about the bone. They've come back, they've eaten the bone, they've come into the house, it's empty. They are back to their own anxious devices. They're still stressed out. I'll ignore this behavior. This dog is just trying to annoy me and spite me. This is not happening. Like I said, it's an SOS signal. Okay, your dog's crying out for help. They want to learn how to calm themselves down from this panic attack. How do we start preparing? I want you guys as a family, if you are in a family, or if you are individually, with one person, or you have a roommate or any such thing, to have a conversation on how you will start preparing your house before your departure. Okay, so that means I want you to go into every single room. If your dog has access to the whole house, then go into every room, make sure that you are, puppy proofing or dog proofing the house. Now, I want you also as a family to sit down and talk about what is going to be my dog's happy place. Whenever we leave our dogs, and I'll touch upon that, you have to leave your dogs in a place that leaves them feeling safe and comfortable. Now, you have to think of, if I'm going to leave my dog for 8 hours, 10 hours, then does my dog have access to go relieve itself? What exercise is it that's going to get my dog really tired out? You want to leave behind a dog that has been amply stimulated physically and through the olfactory senses, mentally, all of that before you leave a house. Set up your dog for success. So you have to put in a routine that gives your dog physical and mental exercise before you leave. All right. And you have to make sure, give your dog at least 3 to 4 weeks of this preparation before you actually start leaving the house, for these habits to kick in. If your dogs hate being left alone while you are in the house, you need to start teaching them it's okay to be alone. The fact that they use us as crutches, they're so needy, they want us all the time, is because we haven't taught them it's okay to be alone. There are so many fun things you can do while you're alone, which doesn't happen when I am there. Okay, so some things you do basically to increase your dog's confidence is train them. So what are humans supposed to do? Like I said, pre-departure cues. Let the dog get used to seeing you leave the house and come right back inside. That's one. Second thing, like I was telling earlier, I want you to start doing things that you would normally do on the days you're leaving the house. That means I am going to take a shower at 7 a.m. this morning, because I will be leaving for work at 7:30 in a month's time or 2 months' time. And I will have to take a shower every morning at 7. So you do this consistently for a few weeks. Now your dog's not triggered anymore by you getting ready. After about a week or so, I get ready and I leave the house, shut the door behind me and come right back inside. So you're putting two different things together. The initial training of your dog just watching you get ready is happening. You're combining it with the second part of your training, which was I'm just going to leave the house and come right back inside. So you're combining the two of them. You have to, like I said, disallow your dog from following you everywhere. This is why I'm a big fan of pen training or crate training also. Now, gradual departures, like I said, calm exit is needed from the house. So give your dogs things to do. Raw bones are good. Like I said, scavenger hunts, hide treats around the house, raw dehydrated bones. Okay. Yak chews are also good, but raw bones. Now, short absences, we start from that. Immediate entry, half a minute, 5 minutes, eventually 45 minutes to an hour of departure of your separation is good enough. Okay. Now, involving others, like I said, during your evaluation or training period, I want you to figure out who are those key 2 or 3 people who are going to come in and have some human give your dog some human interaction if you're gone for extended hours on end.